American television sitcom In the House ran on NBC for its first 2 seasons, from April 10, 1995 to May 13, 1996. The show then moved to UPN, where it aired for another 2 seasons, from August 26, 1996 to April 7, 1998. The series then ran in first-run syndication for a 5th and final season, from August 3, 1999 to August 11, 1999. The show was created by television producer and screenwriter Winifred Hervey. Prior to In the House, she'd written for The Cosby Show, written and executive produced for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and won an Emmy for her work on The Golden Girls. For In the House, she also serves as writer and executive producer. While she is credited as being the creator, in her TelevisionAcademy.com interview, she says that due to her affiliation with Fresh Prince, put out by Quincy Jones's production company, NBC came to her to do In the House, which already had Quincy and LL Cool J attached to it.
LL Cool J was fantastic. I had never met him before I wrote it, so this was different because even though I knew he was attached, I had a concept already. And so I just wrote from the concept. I didn't really write for him. And then I met him, and it just clicked so great because I kind of wrote against what he was. You know, he's this big, handsome, very masculine guy, but the character is named Marion, and he's very nurturing and holistic, even though he's a football player, you know, but he's having hard times and, you know, trying to come back. That was the whole kind of basis of it, was 2 people who were kind of down on their luck.
Marion Hill, played by rapper, songwriter, record producer, and actor LL Cool J, is a former professional football player. He ends up renting out most of the rooms in his house to newly divorced single mother Jackie Warren, played by dancer, choreographer, actress, singer, director, and producer Debbie Allen, and her 2 children, 15-year-old Tiffany, played by Maia Campbell, and 9-year-old Austin, played by Jeffery Wood. Fun fact, LL and Maia are the only cast members to appear in all 5 seasons. Marion, unfortunately, didn't leave the gridiron when he wanted to. The former Los Angeles Raiders running back, even though they'd already left LA by the time the show went to air, got sidelined after an accident on the playing field. To cut expenses while he's training for a comeback, he moves in the apartment above the garage and rents out the main house to Jackie and her kids. However, there is a catch. She and her family must share the kitchen with their landlord. Once a member of the social elite, Jackie enters the workforce for the first time after her husband leaves her for a younger woman. Naturally, she must now sacrifice her once lavish lifestyle to take care of her 2 children. LL told Jet magazine in 1995 that he jumped at the chance to work on the production. He was impressed with the script and the talent behind it. The premise was cool. It had all the elements that entertain people. It was exciting, and I wanted to be a part of it. The thing that also drew me to the sitcom was getting a chance to work with Debbie and Mr. Jones and the NBC network. Of her character, Debbie told Jet, "Jackie is trying to find her way because it's so unexpected for her. It's a little scary, but if you're an adult and you have children, you have no choice but to be equal to the situation and not let it get the best of you." Fun fact, In the House was Debbie's return to being in front of the camera as a series regular since the 80s hit Fame. LL described his character as one that presents a positive image of a black male in crisis. And what he tries to portray through his character is the importance of staying calm, strong, and grounded in the face of adversity. While LL had already done movies and performed live on stage, he found acting in a weekly sitcom to be an experience like no other. I'm rolling on someone else's pace. In music, I use emotion to write a song. In acting, I apply the emotion to someone else's music or words. Fun fact, much like in real life, LL wears a hat in nearly every scene of the entire series. Even when his character was sleeping, he wore a stocking on his head. Entertainment Weekly gave the show a mediocre grade of C, and a mediocre review to go along with it. Only Cool J adds freshness to In the House. He has a big, friendly smile that never seems forced, and he delivers his lines with more expression than any number of old pro sitcom stars. It's too bad that In the House, aiming to be an early primetime family show, gets mired in a lot of dumb sexual and sexist humor. Rap music gets blamed for a lot of obnoxious statements, but LL Cool J never spoke a line more obnoxious than one that sitcom writers dreamed up for him. The first season of In the House was actually only 6 episodes. It also debuted in the spring, not the typical time of year for most sitcoms. Obviously, the results were good enough for NBC to sign on for a full second season.
It was a mid-season replacement. So we did 6, and then that was like our first season. And then I think I did 22, and then I left. No, I wasn't asked back. That was again, I was too bossy and too opinionated. I did not get asked back.
For the actors or for?
For the network. I never had problems with the actors. I think there were a couple of times where we bumped heads a little bit. Maybe I questioned things a little too much. I rubbed somebody the wrong way, obviously. And that was that.
During the second season, several famous guest stars made appearances. Years later, one of them would be very vocal about their not-so-great time on the show. Circa 2009, RuPaul revealed in an interview with Wendy Williams that he did not have a positive experience on the set because of LL Cool J's behavior, describing him as combative and cold, and even threatening to assault RuPaul.
He was very uncomfortable around me.
Why?
Because I am RuPaul, supermodel of the world.
Yes!
And you know what? Listen, I got to see what it looks like when I'm in fear and I pretend and I overreact in a certain way because I got to see it on him. He was acted all N-word-ish.
Okay.
And he was very surly, like our people can get sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed. And then on the set while we're doing this is the stage reading. Okay, he walks into the table reading. And
Okay.
like, hey, what's up to everybody? And he looks and he goes, hey, hi.
Now, you were in regular man clothes.
I'm in man clothes,
Yes.
because I'm only in drag if I'm getting paid.
Right.
And so, and I'm there as a guest
Yes.
star on their show.
Yes.
I was supposed to play his best friend who turns out, is doing drag and stuff. Anyway.
Okay.
Long story short, he was very, very mean and said things out like he had a basketball when we were doing the blocking to do the show.
Yeah.
He was playing basketball in between the things like a unruly child
Yeah.
in a professional situation. Anyway, long story short, he said some really nasty and actually threatened to beat me up at one point. Yes. And I should have said, you know what, MF, you hit me. I will own everything that you have.
Wow.
Come on, do it. Let's
Wow.
go. Let's do it. Because I will sue your butt for I should have done that. Didn't do
Yeah.
that. I was nice. I
But
was
you learned
Christian.
a lesson.
You know this, and let me just end by saying this. The lesson was I got to see what it looks like when I'm in fear, and I need to realize this is not a time for fear. This is a time to own your power and to face your fears.
Do you think he was protesting too much?
Me thinks that the gentleman protests too much.
Okay.
I said it. I said it.
I've said it
there.
also.
There. You just got wrong.
Yes.
At the end of the second season, the ratings were not where executives hoped they would be, so In the House got the boot. UPN, which was launched the year before, was happy to pick it up though and try again. Before the next season debuted on its new network, the show got a more adult makeover. Jackie and Austin both moved back east, while Tiffany stayed with Marion to finish high school. Debbie Allen and Jeffrey Wood's departures now left room for some new characters to be introduced in the third season. One would be former Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star Alfonso Ribeiro as Dr. Maxwell Stanton, and the other, in living color cast member Kim Wayans, as Marion's physical therapist, Tanya Harris. She'd actually been featured in a couple of episodes at the end of the second season, but officially became part of the main cast in season 3. Some other behind-the-scenes drama that many fans may not know about is, according to Alfonso, he didn't enjoy working on the series because LL created a poor working environment. Apparently it had everything to do with LL not taking the show seriously because he was too preoccupied with his music career. Even though the two tried to work together, Alfonso eventually had to ask to film scenes when LL wasn't on set. He told Access Hollywood, "The show was not a fun time for me. LL Cool J and I have talked about it since then, but the working environment on that show was horrible. Coming from Fresh Prince, where everybody was about the show, about making the show better, our rehearsal process was all about making it great. In the House was exactly the opposite. It was like, I'm gonna collect a paycheck, but my life is about everything else." LL was about his music at the time. He was not focused on working hard as an actor. Coming back to do the last season, I basically was like, I don't want to do the last season. They convinced me to do it, but I said I will do it as long as I don't have to work with LL. Alfonso added that when LL realized the error of his ways, he did apologize. Fun fact, before he appeared as a full-time cast member on the Hughleys, DJ Daniels played the role of Rodney for several episodes during the 3rd season. The 5th season of the show really was the end, since Kim ended up leaving after season 4, and Maia departed after appearing in only 2 episodes in season 5. So by the end, LL Cool J and Alfonso's characters were the only 2 main ones left standing. Currently, In the House can be seen on all new TV network The 365 and Amazon Prime Video.